Imagine for a moment that the world you know, the one you walk through every day, is not a static stage. Instead, it is a vast, shifting ocean, and every moment you have ever lived is like a pebble dropped into that endless sea. It ripples outward, forever moving, never truly gone. What if I told you that the past is not behind you, safely tucked into memory or fading with time, but is instead still out there, hurtling through the cosmos, existing in ways you have never considered? This is not metaphor. It is a consequence of the universe itself, of the unyielding rules of physics, of space and time, and of the way reality holds on to what has happened, even as it races toward what is yet to come. To explore this, we must start by looking at the simplest idea. When something happens, when a moment occurs, it leaves a trace. That trace does not vanish, it travels. Every action you have ever taken, every glance, every laugh, every whisper of thought has interacted with the universe in ways that are measurable, even if only subtly. The photons that bounced off your skin, the sounds of your voice, the warmth of your hand, each of these sent ripples through the world around you. In the most literal sense, some of these ripples are still traveling outward, moving at the speed of light, carrying information about who you were, what you did, and even where you were. If you were standing in a sunlit room 10 years ago, the light that bounced off your body then has now traveled billions of kilometers into space. Somewhere, far from Earth, that light continues, an echo of a time that you experienced, a snapshot of a self that no longer exists in this form, but persists in the trajectory of its journey. This idea is strange, even unsettling. We tend to think of the past as something locked in place, a collection of memories in our minds or records on paper, photographs, videos, letters, and stories. Yet physics tells a different story. Every particle in the universe that interacted with you carries a piece of your past forward. Photons from your face, the scent of your hair, the vibrations from your footsteps, even the carbon dioxide you exhaled. These are all small threads stretching into space and time, leaving an indelible mark that cannot simply be erased. The past, in a very real way, is still moving, still alive, still present, just not here where we can touch it. The more you think about it, the more unsettling it becomes. If light from a decade ago is traveling through the universe right now, moving across unimaginable distances, then somewhere, hypothetically, an observer with the right instruments could, in theory, detect it. They could see you as you were, frozen in that moment, not as memory, but as data, traveling at the speed of light. This is not science fiction. It is the foundation of how we understand light, astronomy, and information in the universe. The photons leaving Earth today are the same ones that will be analysed by telescopes decades, centuries, or millennia from now. Everything you have ever been, everything you have ever done, is encoded in the trajectory of particles, stretching endlessly outward. Even beyond photons, the universe is a record keeper in subtler ways. The gravitational pull of objects, the way you displaced air when you moved, the vibrations sent through surfaces you touched. All of these create minuscule but real effects that propagate outward. The universe, in essence, keeps a ledger of every event, no matter how trivial, and continues to carry it along, expanding the past into the present and beyond. This means that your history is not just remembered in your mind, but is literally embedded in the fabric of reality, racing outward, coexisting with everything else in motion. Now consider time itself. Time, as we experience it, feels linear. We move forward from one moment to the next, and the past seems to retreat behind us. Yet the universe does not experience time the way we do. In the vast scale of cosmic time, the separation between past, present, and future is a local experience, almost like standing on a moving river and assuming the water behind you has vanished. In truth, the river flows everywhere, and every ripple you caused continues downstream. This perspective is supported by Einstein's theory of relativity, which shows us that time and space are intertwined, and that events are not simply points on a line, but exist in a four-dimensional fabric known as space-time. In this fabric, your past is not a closed book. It is a trajectory extending outward, coexisting with the present, still moving, still influencing, even if imperceptibly. We can also think of this in terms of cosmic scale. The universe is unimaginably large, with distances measured in light years, the distance light travels in a year. When you consider that light from our own sun takes about 8 minutes to reach Earth, and light from the nearest star takes over 4 years to arrive, it is clear that the consequences of events are always in motion. Your past moments have contributed to this cosmic flow. Every photon that leaves Earth, every gravitational tug, every particle interaction is a note in a symphony of motion that began long before you existed and will continue long after. And yet this is not merely abstract physics, it is deeply personal. When you realize that your past is still out there, moving through space, it changes the way you might think about yourself. Your actions, no matter how small, are not confined to memory or record. They ripple outward, touching reality in ways beyond your perception. There is a kind of immortality in this. Even as you forget your own past, even as the world around you changes, the universe remembers. The light you reflected, the sounds you made, the energy you radiated, they continue to travel, carrying your presence outward, a subtle reminder that existence is never truly fleeting. This has profound implications for how we perceive causality and influence. If your past is still moving outward, then in some sense, it continues to interact with reality. The photons and particles that carry your past experiences may one day reach another planet, another system, another observer. Could they influence the future? Perhaps. At the very least, they carry information, a record of what once was. This leads to fascinating speculation. The universe is not a place where the past is erased, but where it is preserved, encoded in motion, perpetually travelling. Every moment you have ever lived is still out there, not static, not lost, but in transit. Even as we marvel at this, it is worth noting that much of this is beyond our direct perception. We cannot, with our current senses, see the light we emitted 10 years ago or feel the vibrations of our footsteps from yesterday. But technology bridges some of these gaps. Telescopes, particle detectors, gravitational sensors, all are capable of capturing traces of past events, showing us that the universe does, in fact, preserve history in ways that are tangible. We may not be able to touch the past directly, but we can measure it, observe it, and begin to understand that it never truly vanishes. Consider also the philosophical implications. If your past is still moving, what does that say about memory, identity, and the passage of time? Memory is often unreliable. We forget, misremember, or reinterpret. Yet the universe itself is impartial. It does not forget, it does not reinterpret. The particles, the photons, the energy you released, continue on their trajectory exactly as they always have. In this way, the universe serves as the ultimate witness, recording your existence in ways that are precise and absolute, even if human perception is limited. Your past, in this sense, is eternal. Not in a mystical way, but in a literal, physical sense. The enormity of this idea is difficult to fully grasp. Most of us live as though time is a river flowing past us, carrying only memory and experience. Yet reality suggests that every moment, every action, every thought is a pebble thrown into a river that flows outward into the cosmos, and that pebble does not stop. It continues indefinitely, a fragment of you forever travelling. The universe is not only the stage upon which you exist, but also the repository of everything you have ever done. And in that, there is both a humbling and a thrilling thought. The past is not lost. It is out there, moving, expanding, persisting in ways that transcend the limits of your perception. So when you consider your life, the choices you have made, the paths you have taken, think of them not as moments behind you, but as echoes stretching outward into space. The laugh you shared with a friend years ago, the glance you gave to a stranger on a crowded street, the quiet moments of solitude, each is a note carried through the universe, still in motion. The past is not behind you. It is everywhere, moving forward with the speed of light, an unending testament to the fact that existence is never truly confined to the present. This is where our exploration begins. From here, we will look more closely at how these traces move, how they interact with the universe, and what it might mean for the nature of time, memory, and reality itself. We will consider the science behind traveling light, gravitational waves, and cosmic motion, and then dive into the philosophical and almost poetic implications of a past that refuses to stay behind. As we do so, you might start to see yourself differently, not just as a person who existed in the past, but as someone whose moments continue to travel outward, interwoven with the vast, silent, moving expanse of the universe. To truly grasp how your past continues to move outward, we need to consider the journey of light. Every moment you live sends out countless photons, tiny packets of energy that carry with them information about the world they leave behind. Light is not just illumination. It is a messenger, a cosmic courier, transporting the details of existence across space and time. When you smile at a friend, when sunlight touches your skin, when a candle flickers in a quiet room, photons are released, bouncing, scattering, reflecting, and then embarking on an unending voyage. In this sense, light is the most intimate record of your presence. The universe is littered with these tiny, invisible records, a sprawling gallery of moments moving outward at 299,792 kilometers per second, the ultimate speed limit of reality. Consider this: the light reflecting from your face yesterday has already traveled almost 900 million kilometers from the Earth. It is far beyond the orbit of Mars, racing toward the depths of interstellar space. Tomorrow, the photons leaving you now will be just as fast, just as precise, continuing the journey without pause. And they do not simply fade, unless absorbed by some other object, they continue indefinitely, carrying with them a perfect imprint of that moment. Somewhere, in the cold vacuum of space, your presence exists not as memory or thought, but as raw, physical information, encoded in the properties of light itself. Light is not the only way your past moves outward. Everything you interact with sends ripples across the fabric of reality. Gravitational effects, for example, are subtle yet persistent. Every object with mass, including you, exerts a gravitational pull. When you move, you alter this pull, ever so slightly, generating gravitational waves that propagate through space-time. These waves are unimaginably faint, but in theory they carry information about every motion, every action, every movement you have ever made. The universe itself becomes a vast echo chamber, replaying the past not in memory but in the vibrations of space itself. The footsteps you took in a quiet hallway, the swing of your arm reaching for a cup, the movement of your heart as it pumped blood, all of it contributes to the subtle, endless ripple of existence. Then there is the air you breathed, the molecules you expelled with every exhale. Carbon dioxide, water vapor, heat, scent, these all interact with the world and begin journeys of their own. Some molecules are absorbed by plants, carried by wind currents across continents, ultimately entering ecosystems you will never see. Others drift into the upper atmosphere and eventually into space. Tiny, almost infinitesimal pieces of you are thus dispersed throughout the world, mingling with the matter of Earth and beyond. It is a humbling thought. Even as time passes, even as your physical presence decays, fragments of yourself remain, travelling in the air, on the wind, in the very matter that surrounds you. Light, gravity, matter. All of these are threads extending your past outward, stretching into the universe. And yet this is still only the beginning. The universe operates on scales so vast that our human intuition struggles to comprehend them. The photons bouncing off your body today will take years to reach even the nearest stars. Gravitational waves may take centuries or millennia to traverse the galaxy. The molecules you exhale might never leave Earth, but they are carried along in the dynamic systems of air, water, and life itself. Everything you have ever done contributes to this web of motion, a sprawling, interconnected dance that stretches across space and time. In essence, your past is not just a memory, it is a trajectory. The universe is a stage on which every moment you have ever lived leaves a permanent imprint. And because the cosmos is expanding, because it is in constant motion, your past moments are not stationary. They are carried outward, moving with the flow of space itself. The photons, gravitational waves, and molecules that encode your past are part of a vast moving map of everything that has ever occurred. In this map, your life is not confined to Earth or to the present moment. It radiates outward, interwoven with the motions of galaxies, stars, and interstellar dust. One of the most fascinating consequences of this is that, in a sense, your past is still present. We tend to think of history as something behind us, but the universe treats it differently. It is ongoing, dynamic, and continuous. The photons that left you a century ago are still travelling, still carrying information about your existence, still moving through space as though your past is in dialogue with the present. Gravitational waves, subtle though they may be, continue their slow, eternal expansion, encoding the minutiae of motions and events. The universe is a living record, and your past is not static but active, still participating in the unfolding story of reality. This has curious implications when we consider observation. In astronomy, we routinely see light from distant stars and galaxies as it was millions or even billions of years ago. We are literally looking into the past every time we gaze at the night sky. If the universe can carry ancient light across such staggering distances, then why should our own personal past be any different? The photons that left you yesterday or 10 years ago follow the same rules. They too are journeys into space, journeys that persist indefinitely. The idea that the past is gone becomes less a certainty and more a convenient illusion, a simplification of the way our minds process time. We can also think about this in terms of information. Every particle, every photon, every wave carries information about the state of the universe at the moment it left its source. Your actions, your movements, your very presence are encoded in this information. It is a permanent imprint, travelling outward, unalterable, preserving the past as it really was, not as we remember it. In this sense, the universe is both a time machine and a mirror. It contains records of what has happened, and if observed with perfect instruments, it could reveal the precise state of any moment. Your past is, therefore, a kind of cosmic echo, moving silently through space, awaiting discovery. Even the tiniest details of your existence contribute to this journey. The way your body absorbs light, the sound of your voice vibrating in the air, the warmth you radiate, each of these creates subtle effects that travel outward. Some may never leave Earth, but some inevitably reach beyond, blending into the broader tapestry of cosmic motion. Every action is like a pebble thrown into the pond of the universe, and the ripples extend farther than we can see, interacting with the infinite currents of space and time. And yet, As vast as these distances are, the pace of motion is relentless. Light moves at a fixed speed, particles move according to physical laws, and the universe expands outward, carrying everything with it. Your past is on the move. Nothing stops it. It does not wait for memory or recognition. It does not pause for reflection. It continues outward, leaving Earth behind, mingling with the stars, joining the ceaseless flow of the cosmos. In this way, every action, every thought, every moment of your life participates in a grand cosmic motion. Your history is not bound by your body, your location, or even the constraints of time as you perceive it. It is traveling, as real and as tangible as any physical object, but invisible to the eye and largely undetectable without careful observation. This motion also has implications for how we think about presence and absence. We often assume that once a moment passes, it is gone, that we are no longer connected to what we did, where we were, or who we were at that time. Yet when viewed on a cosmic scale, this assumption is false. The past does not vanish. It merely moves beyond our immediate perception. The light, waves, and particles that encode your existence are still there, outside the reach of casual observation, but real nonetheless. The universe does not forget. Your past is traveling, persisting, and in some sense still present, because it is woven into the fabric of reality itself. From this perspective, memory takes on a new meaning. Human memory is fragile, incomplete, and often flawed. We forget birthdays, names, conversations, and even entire experiences. But the universe remembers perfectly. The photons, gravitational waves, and matter that carry your past experiences are not subject to forgetting. They are exact records moving outward, carrying the truth of your existence in ways that our minds cannot duplicate. In this sense, the universe is not just a stage on which life occurs. It is a vast archive, a cosmic library, a repository of everything that has happened. Your past is not lost. It is simply in motion, traveling across unimaginable distances, encoded in the medium of existence itself. In the grand scheme, this realization can be both humbling and comforting. It reminds us that our actions, even the smallest, have a permanence we often fail to appreciate. Even as we forget, even as the world changes, even as generations come and go, the universe carries the record forward. Your past is not static. It is dynamic, traveling outward, coexisting with the present, intertwined with the motion of the cosmos. You are, in every sense, a participant in an eternal unfolding, your moments forever journeying through the vast expanse of reality. As your past moves outward, it does not travel alone. The universe is not empty. It is a vast interconnected web of matter, energy, and forces, all in motion, all influencing one another. The photons, particles, and gravitational waves that carry your history inevitably interact with the fabric of space, with other particles, and with the energy already traversing the cosmos. Even the smallest ripple can have consequences, subtle or profound, depending on where and when it collides with another fragment of reality. In this way, your past is not just a linear projection outward, it is a dynamic participant in a universe that never stands still. Consider photons first. They carry an exact imprint of the moment they leave their source. A photon that bounced off your skin yesterday contains information about your appearance, your position, the environment around you, and even the light conditions at that precise moment. As these photons journey outward, they can scatter, reflect, or be absorbed by other objects, altering their trajectory. Some may join with other photons to create interference patterns, some may be captured by dust grains in space, and some may eventually reach a distant planet or star system. In each interaction, your past moment is subtly altered, not in its essence, but in the path it follows, the way it spreads, the way it continues its journey. This introduces a remarkable idea. Your past is not static even as it moves. The universe itself shapes it, bending and refracting it, mixing it with other histories and energies. Imagine tossing a drop of ink into a river. The ink spreads, twists, and interacts with currents, eddies, and other flows. Your past behaves in much the same way, carried along by the currents of light, gravity, and matter, constantly interacting with the surrounding cosmos. The trajectory of a photon leaving your body may eventually cross paths with another photon from a distant star, creating patterns that encode both histories simultaneously. In this way, the past is dynamic, evolving in motion, while remaining a faithful record of the original moment. Gravity adds another layer of complexity. Every object with mass contributes to the curvature of spacetime, as Einstein showed. When you move, when you exist, your mass, though small, slightly affects this curvature. Gravitational waves generated by motion, by vibration, or even by the collective influence of molecules moving together, propagate outward at the speed of light, interacting with the gravitational fields of other objects along the way. Over vast distances, these waves may subtly influence the motion of planets, stars, or gas clouds. Your existence, encoded in these waves, becomes a participant in the cosmic ballet, influencing matter in ways so minute that they are almost impossible to detect, but real nonetheless. Matter itself carries the past as well. The molecules you exhale, the tiny particles you shed through skin and hair, even the dust on your clothing, all continue their journeys outward. Some will remain on Earth, entering ecosystems, becoming part of other life forms, dissolving into the soil, or drifting into the atmosphere. Others, caught in high-altitude currents or propelled into space by natural forces, may escape Earth entirely. In these ways, fragments of you mix with the universe, influencing other systems, even far from your immediate awareness. Every particle that leaves your presence continues to interact with matter and energy, ensuring that your past is always active, always part of a larger cosmic system. These interactions suggest that the past is never truly isolated. It is a continuous flow of influence, a network of effects propagating outward. When you consider the universe as a whole, this implies that every action, every movement, and every moment is part of a vast, interconnected web where cause and effect extend beyond immediate perception. The past does not remain behind us. It spreads outward, touches other systems, and becomes a hidden participant in events far removed from its origin. You might smile at a friend, and the light from that smile, scattering into the universe, could one day interact with another star system in ways we cannot predict. It is the ultimate reminder that existence is never solitary, and that every moment is both personal and cosmically shared. Even more intriguing is the scale of these interactions. Photons and gravitational waves travel across interstellar space, where they can remain unaltered for millions of years. But when they do encounter other matter, they contribute to complex patterns. Cosmic dust, planets, and even black holes interact with this traveling information. Some photons are absorbed and re-emitted, slightly changing their properties, while gravitational waves can be distorted by massive objects. Each interaction is a conversation between the past and the universe, a silent dialogue that encodes your history into the structure of reality itself. In a sense, the universe keeps an ongoing record of all interactions, and your past is an active participant, not a static relic. This raises philosophical questions as well. If your past is continuously interacting with the cosmos, what does that mean for identity and continuity? Are you limited to the person you perceive yourself to be now, or are you also the composite of every ripple you have created in space? In some ways, your essence extends beyond the confines of memory and body, existing as traces and effects carried outward by light, matter, and gravity. The past is alive and you are woven into it. Every moment contributes to the ongoing structure of reality, and every action leaves an indelible mark on the universe's tapestry. It also challenges the way we think about impermanence. We often believe that once a moment passes, it is gone forever. Memory fades, physical presence disappears, and life moves forward. But the universe does not conform to this human-centric perspective. The particles, waves, and photons that encode your past are imperishable in principle. Unless they are absorbed or altered, they continue indefinitely, stretching outward, mingling with the cosmic fabric. The notion of loss becomes relative. While we may not retain direct access to moments that have passed, the universe itself preserves them, carrying them outward in an eternal procession of motion. These ideas also illuminate a subtle form of immortality. While your body ages and your memories fade, the imprints of your existence are still traveling outward, encoded in energy and matter. Light from a smile you shared years ago continues to move at the speed of light, carrying with it the information of that moment. Gravitational waves from your movements propagate through space-time, imperceptible but ever present. Molecules you released into the atmosphere participate in countless interactions across Earth and potentially beyond. In this sense, you exist beyond memory, beyond physical presence, as a series of ongoing interactions in the universe itself. The philosophical implications are vast. If your past is traveling outward, then every moment of your life has a permanence beyond human comprehension. Choices that seem trivial, fleeting emotions, small gestures, they all ripple outward, contributing to the structure of reality. This perspective transforms the ordinary into something extraordinary. A casual conversation, a walk in the park, even the quiet solitude of a room, each is a thread that enters the cosmic weave, moving outward and interacting with a universe that never forgets. It reframes existence as a dynamic continuum, where the past is not locked away in memory, but actively participates in the ongoing story of the cosmos. One could even imagine that far away, these travelling traces of your past might be observed in some form. A civilization with advanced instruments could, hypothetically, detect the photons you emitted decades ago or measure the gravitational waves created by your movements. In doing so, they would be seeing you as you were, preserved in transit, a perfect echo of a moment you have already left behind. While this remains speculative, it is consistent with the laws of physics. The universe contains the record of your existence. The question is whether anyone, or anything, ever reads it. Even on a smaller, more immediate scale, these interactions are happening constantly. Every photon bouncing off your body, every particle you release, every gravitational tug you exert is interacting with its surroundings. Your past is not a distant abstraction. It is happening right now, as the traces of every moment propagate outward and influence the universe. The continuity of motion ensures that nothing is ever truly lost, that the past persists in ways subtle, complex, and enduring. As we explore this further, it becomes clear that the past is not simply behind you. It is a network of ongoing motion. It exists as light, as gravity, as matter, as energy, all interacting with the universe on scales both small and incomprehensibly vast. Every moment you have lived contributes to this unfolding pattern, and every action you take continues the story. You are both observer and participant, creating ripples that move outward, interacting with everything in their path. This perspective can transform the way we perceive life. It suggests that our actions, our presence, and our moments are not confined to the narrow window of human perception. They continue outward, shaping reality, interacting with the universe, and leaving a trace that endures beyond the fleeting span of memory or consciousness. In this light, existence is a continuum, a series of interwoven effects, where the past is not gone but dynamically present, carried forward in an endless cosmic journey. By considering how your past moves and interacts, we begin to understand that time, memory, and existence are far more complex than we imagine. Your life is not a linear narrative, but a network of traces, each moving outward, each influencing and interacting with the universe. The past is not lost. It is active, travelling, and participating in the ongoing motion of reality. In every sense, you are more than the sum of your memories. You are an ongoing force, radiating outward, intertwined with the vast, silent, and unceasing motion of the cosmos. As we step back to contemplate the grand scope of this idea, a peculiar realization emerges. Your past, the very moments you have lived, is both intimate and vast, personal and universal. Every heartbeat you have experienced, every glance exchanged, every fleeting thought is in transit. The universe, immense and indifferent, is carrying these traces outward, threading them into the fabric of spacetime, preserving them in motion. It is humbling to consider that the very act of existing is not just a private experience confined to the present, but a gesture that resonates across the cosmos, forever unfolding. To understand the consequences of this, we must think on cosmic scales. Light from Earth has been travelling into space for billions of years. Ancient photons that departed long before humanity existed now traverse galaxies, potentially encountering stars, planets, or interstellar dust. By the same principle, the photons reflecting off your body yesterday are beginning the first leg of an endless journey, potentially reaching distant worlds in thousands, millions, or even billions of years. In essence, your past is not tethered to Earth or to the now. It is a participant in a cosmic narrative that spans space and time. The universe is a gallery of moments, and your history has its place there, carried by energy and motion, silently immortal. This realization reframes our concept of permanence. We often think of time as a destructive force, eroding memories, aging bodies, and fading experiences into nothingness. But in a physical sense, the universe does not forget. Everything you have ever done, every movement, every photon you emitted, every molecule released into the air, is preserved in motion. It may no longer be accessible to your perception, and it may never be retrievable in its entirety, but the record exists, unaltered, ongoing, and outward bound. To exist, then, is to leave an indelible imprint that defies the limits of human memory and the fleeting span of life. The implications ripple beyond physics into philosophy. If every past moment continues to exist in transit, then the distinction between past and present begins to blur. The moment you are living now is just another node in a continuum stretching infinitely forward. Your past is not confined to memory. It is active, persistent, and dynamic. It interacts with the universe on levels both subtle and profound, suggesting that existence is a series of interactions rather than discrete points along a timeline. This challenges the human-centric view of temporality and encourages a vision of life in which every moment radiates significance beyond immediate perception. There is also a sense of communion in this understanding. Your past is intertwined not only with space, but with other matter and energy. Photons interact with interstellar dust. Gravitational waves ripple through galaxies. Molecules mingle with the environment. In this intricate dance, the traces of your existence become part of a larger story, a cosmic conversation that transcends individuality. Each action is a contribution, subtle but permanent, to the ongoing unfolding of reality. In this sense, the universe is not a static backdrop, but an active participant in your history, just as your past participates in the unfolding of the cosmos. We can also explore this idea through the lens of entropy. The second law of thermodynamics tells us that the universe moves toward increasing disorder, that energy disperses and spreads. Yet within this dispersal, your past moments continue to travel outward. They are distributed across space, mingling with other forms of energy and matter. But their existence is not negated. Entropy does not erase, it transforms and disperses, ensuring that traces of the past are carried forward in complex, intricate, and unpredictable ways. Even decay, often thought of as a form of erasure, contributes to this ongoing motion, transforming matter and energy into forms that continue to carry your history. Light, in particular, is a remarkable medium for this permanence. It travels indefinitely unless absorbed, bending around gravity wells, spreading across galaxies, and interacting with other light along the way. The photons that left you yesterday or years ago are now racing through the universe at the speed of light, never ceasing, never resting. They carry with them information about your existence, a record that could, in principle, be decoded by a sufficiently advanced observer. Even if no one ever does, the information persists, a permanent echo of your being, carried endlessly outward. Gravitational waves and matter add further layers. Subtle vibrations of spacetime encode motion, mass, and energy, propagating your presence through the universe in ways that are imperceptible to human senses, yet real. Molecules carried on winds, through ecosystems, or even into the edges of the atmosphere, continue their journeys, interacting with other systems and blending your past into the ongoing flow of matter and energy. The universe is, in this sense, both archive and theatre, preserving and perpetuating your existence beyond the constraints of memory or lifespan. The philosophical consequences deepen when we consider identity. If the past continues to move, interacting with the universe, does it not become part of something greater than the self? Every moment radiates beyond personal experience, connecting with distant systems, energies, and matter. In a sense, you are not only a singular being confined to your own life, but also a participant in a vast, dynamic network where past, present, and future are interwoven threads in a cosmic tapestry. The idea that existence is solitary or transient diminishes against this broader perspective. Instead, we see that to live is to contribute to an ongoing process, a network of energy and influence that persists and expands beyond comprehension. The existential weight of this realization is profound. Many of us are preoccupied with legacy, with memory, with how we might be remembered after we are gone. Yet the universe operates on a scale far beyond human perception. It is not memory that preserves your past, but physics itself. The photons you emitted, the waves you generated, the matter you released, all carry your existence forward, independent of recognition or awareness. In this sense, you are immortal not in name or reputation, but as a physical imprint in the universe, travelling outward, unbound by time, persisting without observation. There is also a subtle beauty in this process. The universe is often described as indifferent, cold, or impersonal, yet it is also profoundly intricate and connected. The traces of your past travel in patterns dictated by natural laws, weaving through cosmic structures, bending around stars, threading through galaxies. Each action, however small, contributes to the complexity of the universe. Your life, moment by moment, is a force of motion and energy, radiating outward, interacting with matter and space in ways that are both scientific and poetic. There is a silent elegance to the fact that every breath you take, every glance you cast, every step you make becomes part of this ongoing flow. Even the concept of distance takes on new meaning. Your past is travelling toward places you may never imagine. The photons reflecting off you may one day intersect with another solar system. Molecules may travel to the edges of the atmosphere and beyond, perhaps even leaving the planet entirely. Gravitational waves from your movements ripple outward, stretching across galaxies. In all these ways, your existence radiates outward, reaching farther than you could ever perceive, connecting with the vastness of space. Distance becomes less a barrier than a measure of time and expansion. The past is always moving, always bridging gaps, always extending influence. Time itself also transforms under this perspective. We often think of time as linear, as a sequence of past, present, and future. But when we consider the travelling nature of your past, time becomes layered and multidimensional. Moments are not strictly behind you. They are ongoing processes, moving through space, interacting with matter and energy, shaping the universe in ways subtle and profound. Your life is not a series of points along a line, but a network of effects, each stretching outward, interweaving with the cosmos. To exist is not merely to experience the present, but to contribute to an unending continuum, a flowing river of cause, effect, and motion. There is also a meditative quality to this understanding. If your past is travelling outward, perpetually interacting with the universe, then every moment is meaningful beyond immediate perception. Every choice, every movement, every thought participates in the ongoing unfolding of reality. There is a quiet significance in realizing that nothing is ever truly lost, that existence radiates forward in waves of energy and matter, that every breath, every smile, every touch contributes to a vast, dynamic, interconnected system. The universe does not forget. It carries, preserves, and extends. Your past is never gone. It is simply on its way. To better grasp the movement of your past through space, it helps to consider concrete examples, ones that anchor the cosmic idea in tangible reality. Imagine a simple gesture. You wave your hand. That motion, seemingly trivial, releases countless photons, interacts with air molecules, and generates infinitesimal gravitational perturbations. Each photon carries an exact imprint of your hand's position, shape, colour, and movement at that precise moment. Even after you've lowered your hand, the information encoded in those photons continues to travel outward, moving beyond your perception, beyond Earth, into interstellar space. If light from distant stars can reach us after millions of years, why not the photons that left your hand yesterday? The principle is the same. Your past is preserved in motion, a silent witness carried through the universe. Consider another everyday example, speaking to someone. Your voice generates sound waves which move through the air, vibrating particles around you. These vibrations propagate through the environment, interacting with objects, walls, and surfaces. The energy they carry does not vanish immediately. Some is absorbed, some is reflected, and some eventually dissipates into heat or other forms of energy, contributing to the ongoing dance of particles and waves. In this way, your words, your voice, your presence in a room leave traces that ripple outward, far beyond the limits of perception. The past is encoded not just in memory, but in the physics of motion itself. We can also extend this thinking to large-scale interactions. Suppose you walk through a forest. Your steps compress soil, shift air, and disturb vegetation. Each motion generates microscopic disturbances that propagate outward, interacting with the ecosystem. A leaf falls where your foot brushed it. Air currents carry pollen or spores that were dislodged by your movement. Even the heat from your body subtly alters local air patterns. While these effects seem minor, they contribute to the ongoing flow of energy and matter in the environment. The universe does not erase these interactions. They continue to move, interact, and evolve. Your past, even in simple gestures, becomes part of the broader cosmic system. Now let us engage in a thought experiment that stretches these concepts further. Imagine a civilization far away, technologically advanced enough to detect photons, gravitational waves, and particles with exquisite precision. If they were to analyze the light traveling from your planet, could they, in theory, reconstruct moments from your life? Perhaps not in vivid detail, but enough to detect patterns, light bouncing off human forms, thermal radiation from bodies, subtle electromagnetic signatures. In essence, your past would be readable, preserved not as memory or story, but as raw data travelling through the universe. This is not merely a whimsical idea, it is grounded in the physics of light, radiation, and energy. The universe encodes information about your existence, and in principle, an observer could access it far from where the original event occurred. Even more fascinating is the scale at which these traces persist. Light from Earth has been travelling outward for over 13 billion years, reaching distances well beyond the Milky Way. The photons you emitted yesterday are just beginning their journey, but they too will travel indefinitely unless absorbed. Gravitational waves generated by movements on Earth propagate continuously, albeit subtly, across the cosmos. Molecules, dust particles, and other matter you have released carry the history of your presence, interacting with the surrounding environment as they disperse. Your past, in a sense, is timeless, not in eternity as a conscious experience, but as physical information perpetually moving, interacting, and evolving. This perspective transforms the way we might think about causality. Each action you take contributes to a chain of effects, many of which you cannot perceive. A photon from your hand yesterday may collide with a particle elsewhere, triggering a sequence of interactions that continues outward. While these effects are minuscule on a cosmic scale, they illustrate a principle. Your past is not static. It participates in the ongoing flow of the universe. It is an active, moving presence, influencing matter and energy in ways both subtle and profound. Another example comes from the simplest act of breathing. With every inhale and exhale, you release air molecules carrying carbon dioxide, water vapor, and heat. These molecules disperse, mingling with the environment, some remaining on Earth, others potentially reaching the edges of the atmosphere. Some may eventually escape into space, carried by the upper layers of the atmosphere and cosmic winds. In this way, your very respiration leaves a trail, a moving imprint that persists beyond your immediate presence. Even the most ordinary actions are never entirely confined to the here and now. They ripple outward, joining the ongoing narrative of the cosmos. We can also reflect on the subtle yet profound influence of gravitational interactions. Every object, including you, exerts gravitational pull. As you move, you alter this pull slightly, generating minuscule disturbances in the curvature of spacetime. These disturbances propagate outward as gravitational waves. Though infinitesimal, these waves carry information about motion and mass, adding another layer to the cosmic record of your past. In essence, your existence leaves a gravitational signature, perpetually moving through the universe, encoded in the very geometry of spacetime. These examples illustrate a profound truth. The past is not merely a collection of memories or records, it is an active, travelling phenomenon. It moves outward, interacts with matter, energy, and spacetime, and continues its journey indefinitely. Even if no one ever observes it, the information is preserved. Your past is a force, a presence, a network of interactions that extends beyond perception and comprehension. The universe is not simply a stage where events occur. It is both record and participant, carrying the traces of every action, gesture, and thought forward in motion. Consider the implications for human perception and understanding. We live our lives believing that what has passed is gone, that memory is the only vessel for the past. Yet physics tells a different story. The universe preserves history in motion. This challenges our intuitive notions of time, memory, and existence. Moments are not irretrievably lost. They are ongoing processes, travelling, interacting, and participating in the grand flow of reality. Human experience, confined to the present, captures only a fraction of this motion. The rest, vast and ongoing, unfolds silently in the cosmos. We can also explore the poetic dimensions of this idea. Imagine that every smile you have shared, every whisper, every touch, is travelling outward, invisible, imperceptible, yet real. These traces are your legacy in the most fundamental sense, not as stories told or remembered, but as physical phenomena moving through the universe. Your existence radiates outward, interwoven with space, matter, and energy, creating a quiet but permanent impression. There is a beauty in this. Existence is not fleeting. It persists, travels, interacts, and continues, independent of human recognition or memory. A further thought experiment illuminates the scale and mystery of this idea. Picture a distant star system light years away. The photons that left Earth a century ago are arriving there now, carrying information about events, people, and moments from long ago. If someone or something were capable of observing them, they would be witnessing fragments of your past, preserved perfectly in transit. While this scenario borders on speculation, it is consistent with the laws of physics. The universe is an archive, a repository of motion and information, and your past is an integral part of it. We can also consider the implications for mortality. Human life is ephemeral, yet the traces we leave are not. Your actions, movements, and presence continue outward in light, matter, and gravitational waves. Death does not erase these traces. It simply ends the conscious participation in the present. The universe continues to carry the imprints of your existence, extending your influence beyond life itself. In this sense, you persist, traveling outward in the cosmos, woven into the very fabric of reality. Even the smallest gestures matter. The light reflected from your hand as you brush your hair, the sound of your voice as you speak, the molecules released in a sigh. These are not lost. They are dispersed, traveling and interacting with the universe. The physics of energy, matter, and motion ensures that everything you have done contributes to the ongoing flow of reality. Your past is active, moving, and interacting. It is a quiet, continuous testament to the fact that existence is never entirely fleeting. As we consider the full scale of your past moving through space, it becomes apparent that it is not merely a personal phenomenon. It is a force that subtly interacts with the broader universe. Each photon, gravitational wave, and particle emitted by your existence becomes part of the cosmic environment, mingling with matter, energy, and space itself. In a sense, your past is both personal and universal. It is a ripple that radiates outward, joining countless others, creating a dynamic network of motion that extends far beyond the confines of Earth. The universe is an enormous, ever-changing canvas, and your history, in its subtle forms, is painted across it. Consider interstellar space. While often imagined as empty, it is in fact filled with clouds of gas, dust, magnetic fields, and radiation. The photons and particles that carry your past interact with these structures in ways that are minuscule, yet real. A photon bouncing off your face may eventually collide with a dust grain light years away, transferring momentum, energy, and information. A gravitational ripple generated by your movement could pass through a planetary system, imperceptibly altering trajectories over millions of years. These interactions are subtle, imperceptible to human senses, but they demonstrate that the universe is a vast, interconnected system in which every motion contributes to the whole. Your past is a thread in this tapestry, moving outward, participating in the ongoing evolution of reality. Even within the Earth itself, your past contributes to the dynamics of matter and energy. The molecules you release, the heat your body emits, the vibrations you create, all of these interact with the environment. They influence air currents, soil composition, and ecological systems, eventually dispersing into the larger cycles of energy and matter. Your past is not confined to memory or perception. It is active in the world, carried forward in the ongoing flow of physical processes. In this way, your life is both ephemeral and enduring, fleeting in experience, yet persistent in effect. On a cosmic scale, these traces of your past become part of a complex dynamic system that includes everything from the smallest particle to the largest galaxy. Photons travel across light years, sometimes for millions of years, carrying information about moments you have lived. Gravitational waves ripple through spacetime, encoded with mass and motion. Particles and molecules mix with other matter, participating in chemical reactions, ecological cycles, and even planetary processes. Your existence is, in effect, intertwined with the universe itself. Every moment contributes to this ongoing pattern, and nothing is ever truly lost. The past continues to travel, interact, and evolve. From this perspective, the universe can be seen as a living archive, a record of everything that has ever occurred. The stars, planets, and cosmic structures are not only objects, but also participants in a dynamic history of motion and interaction. Your past moments, carried by light, matter, and gravity, become part of this record. They contribute to the ongoing narrative of existence, preserved not in memory or narrative, but in the fundamental properties of the cosmos. In this way, the universe itself is a witness to your life, carrying traces of your existence indefinitely. This understanding has profound philosophical implications. If the past continues to move, if every action leaves a trace that interacts with the universe, then the distinction between past and present begins to blur. Moments are not strictly behind us. They are active, ongoing phenomena, traveling, interacting, and evolving. The present is not an isolated point, but a node within a vast network of motion that includes both your past and the effects of countless other beings. Existence is not simply a linear sequence of events. It is a multidimensional network in which every moment radiates influence beyond perception. One way to imagine this is through the concept of cosmic memory. The universe does not forget. Every photon, particle, and wave carries information, and much of it persists indefinitely. In this sense, the universe functions as a vast, impersonal archive, preserving the traces of existence long after they are gone from immediate perception. The past is not erased, it is transformed, dispersed, and carried forward. Your history is part of this archive, a permanent record traveling through space, interacting with matter, and contributing to the ongoing evolution of the cosmos. This leads to an almost poetic understanding of impermanence. Human life is fleeting, yet the imprints we leave are enduring. The molecules, photons, and gravitational waves that encode your existence persist beyond memory, beyond observation, and beyond even life itself. Death does not erase these traces. It merely ends the conscious experience. Your past continues to move, participating in the universal flow, interwoven with matter, energy, and space-time. In this sense, existence is simultaneously transient and eternal, fleeting in perception, yet persistent in effect. There is also a profound implication for interconnectedness. Every trace of your past interacts, however subtly, with the broader environment. Photons collide with dust and gas, molecules disperse and recombine, gravitational waves bend around stars and planets. Your past does not exist in isolation. It is a participant in the ongoing flow of the universe. In this sense, existence is fundamentally relational. Your life is not a series of isolated moments, but a network of interactions that extend outward, influencing, shaping, and being shaped by the cosmos itself. We can also consider the cumulative effect of countless pasts moving through space. Every being, every object, every event contributes to this network of motion. The universe is filled with histories in transit, each ripple interacting with others, forming an intricate, dynamic pattern of cause and effect. Your past is one thread in this immense web, moving outward, influencing matter and energy, joining the ongoing evolution of reality. The cosmos is not a passive backdrop, but an active participant in this process. a medium through which histories propagate and interact. This perspective reframes our understanding of legacy. We often measure significance by memory, reputation, or tangible achievements. Yet the universe preserves history in a more fundamental way. The traces of your past exist as physical phenomena, encoded in light, matter, and gravitational interactions. These traces continue to move, interact, and persist, independent of recognition or awareness. Legacy, then, is not solely a human construct. It is a natural consequence of existence itself. Every moment leaves an imprint, and that imprint continues indefinitely. Even the most ordinary actions contribute to this cosmic record. A smile, a word, a gesture, a breath. They all release photons, vibrate particles, and generate gravitational effects. Each action sends a ripple outward, joining the ongoing flow of motion and interaction. Your past is not lost in these small moments. It is preserved, moving, interacting, and participating in the universe. The extraordinary arises not only from monumental events, but from the cumulative motion of countless ordinary moments. Scientific thought experiments also highlight the possibilities inherent in this perspective. Imagine a distant observer with advanced instruments detecting the light, gravitational waves, and matter leaving Earth. They could, in theory, reconstruct patterns from your past, observing fragments of your life preserved in transit. While this remains speculative, it is consistent with the laws of physics. The universe is both archive and medium, preserving and transmitting history through fundamental processes. Your past, encoded in motion, is a permanent contribution to this unfolding cosmic story. Furthermore, the traveling past invites reflection on mortality and existence. Human life is ephemeral, yet the physical imprints of existence endure. Even after consciousness ceases, the traces left in light, matter, and gravity continue outward, interacting with the universe. Death does not erase these traces. It marks a transition from personal experience to cosmic participation. Your past moves, persists, and influences, weaving into the ongoing dynamics of the cosmos. In this sense, existence transcends the limitations of perception, memory, and time. As we contemplate the ongoing journey of your past, a remarkable tension emerges between perception and reality. Human consciousness tends to experience time linearly. The past behind us, the present unfolding, the future ahead. Memory acts as a bridge, a personal archive of experiences, while anticipation shapes the imagination of what is to come. Yet physics offers a different narrative. Your past is not simply behind you. It is continuously moving outward, interacting with the universe, and existing as an ongoing phenomenon. The world preserves what you have done, not in memory, but in energy, matter, and motion. In this sense, perception is limited, a tiny window into a vast, dynamic reality that includes your past in constant transit. Memory, in particular, becomes an interesting lens through which to understand this dynamic. Human memory is selective, often flawed, and inevitably finite. We forget faces, conversations, and moments. We reconstruct experiences rather than faithfully recall them. Yet the universe remembers perfectly. Every photon, gravitational ripple, and particle that encodes a past moment is preserved in motion. Unlike memory, which fades and distorts, these traces are precise, exact replicas of events as they occurred. In this way, the universe serves as a far more faithful archivist than the mind. Your history exists in physical form, whether or not it is remembered. This dissonance between memory and reality can be disorienting. We often feel that what is gone is irretrievable, that the past exists only in thought or narrative. But in truth, your past exists as physical phenomena moving outward, imperceptible yet real. This realization challenges the human-centered concept of temporality. Moments are not merely behind us, they are active, dynamic, and intertwined with the fabric of the cosmos. Every gesture, every thought, every movement is preserved in a medium far larger and more enduring than human cognition. The travelling past also reshapes our understanding of identity. If every moment you have lived radiates outward, interacts with matter and energy, and persists beyond perception, then your sense of self extends far beyond your immediate consciousness. You are not confined to the boundaries of your body or the span of your memory. You are distributed across space in countless traces that continue to move and interact. Your identity, then, is not a static entity, but a dynamic network of influence, reaching beyond the present into the cosmos itself. Time, too, becomes more complex in this framework. Our perception of time as a linear arrow is a practical illusion, useful for organizing experience, but incomplete in capturing the reality of the universe. In physics, time is intertwined with space. Events are coordinates in space-time, and the propagation of photons, particles, and gravitational waves creates a continuum that does not adhere to human chronology. Your past is not merely behind you, it is layered, extended, and ongoing, with each moment radiating outward into a universe where distances and durations are vast beyond comprehension. The notion of a fixed past becomes less absolute and more a matter of perspective. The interplay between perception and the travelling past invites profound philosophical reflection. If your actions are preserved in physical form and continue to interact with the universe, then existence is inherently relational. You are connected not only to other beings on Earth, but to the broader cosmos. Each moment leaves ripples that may eventually influence distant matter or energy in unpredictable ways. Your life is not isolated, it is part of a vast network of interactions, extending outward and persisting beyond immediate awareness. The past is not gone, it is ongoing, dynamic, and inseparable from the motion of the universe itself. Memory, in this context, is a personal echo of the objective record preserved in the cosmos. While memory can distort, fade, or vanish, the physical traces of the past continue their journey unaltered. This creates a remarkable asymmetry. We may forget, yet the universe does not. The photons from your smile, the particles from your movement, the subtle gravitational effects of your presence, all are preserved in motion, carried outward indefinitely. Memory becomes less a vessel of permanence and more a selective interface with a reality that is already eternal in a physical sense. This perspective also invites reflection on perception and significance. Every moment, no matter how ordinary, is preserved in motion. A casual glance, a whispered word, a simple gesture, each generates ripples in light, matter, and gravity. While human perception may overlook these traces, the universe does not. There is an inherent significance in the act of existing. Every action contributes to the ongoing flow of reality, interacting with matter, energy, and space-time. In this way, meaning extends beyond subjective interpretation into the objective fabric of the cosmos. Even time's impermanence becomes nuanced under this lens. Moments may seem fleeting, but their physical traces endure. Death or forgetting does not erase them, it merely limits perception. The universe continues to carry these traces outward, a dynamic record of everything that has occurred. Your past is not a memory or a narrative, it is a living, travelling phenomenon, interacting with the universe in ways that may never be fully comprehended. It persists in space, in energy, and in motion, a silent yet enduring testament to your existence. This understanding also reframes the concept of presence. To exist is not limited to what is immediately perceptible. Every action contributes to a network of effects that extend beyond the senses, beyond Earth, beyond immediate comprehension. Your presence is both here and radiating outward, encoded in light, matter, and gravitational influence. In a profound sense, you are everywhere your past has travelled, and your existence is as much a trajectory through space as a moment in time. Thought experiments further illuminate these ideas. Imagine an observer in a distant galaxy, capable of detecting the photons and particles that left Earth centuries ago. They could, in principle, witness fragments of your life preserved in transit. These traces are not distorted by perception or memory. They are exact physical imprints of moments you have lived. While currently speculative, this highlights a fundamental truth. The universe preserves history in motion, independent of observation or awareness. Your past continues outward, unaltered and ongoing, part of the cosmic archive that contains all events. Moreover, the travelling past invites reflection on causality. Every action you take generates a cascade of effects, some immediate and some delayed across vast scales. A photon reflecting off your hand today may collide with a particle years or even millennia later, influencing matter in subtle ways. Gravitational waves from your movement ripple outward, interacting with cosmic structures over time. In this sense, causality is not a simple linear chain, but a dynamic network of interactions, where your past participates actively in shaping reality long after the moment has passed. Memory, perception, and the travelling past intersect in ways that expand our understanding of self. Conscious experience captures only a tiny fraction of the network of interactions created by your existence. While memory may fade, the universe continues to preserve and propagate your history. The travelling past is a reminder that your life extends far beyond what you perceive, that identity is distributed across space, and that time is not a strict linear path but a multidimensional continuum. Your existence, in physical terms, is far larger and more enduring than the mind alone can grasp. Understanding that your past continues to travel through space reshapes how we experience reality itself. Most of us live as though the past is gone, confined to memory or documentation, yet physics reveals a different picture. Every action, every moment, every photon or particle emitted from you continues on a trajectory through the cosmos. The consequences of this realization ripple into our understanding of presence, significance, and the interconnectedness of existence. Our lives are not isolated stories. They are threads in a vast, ongoing tapestry of motion, energy, and matter, stretching across time and space. Consider the implications for daily experience. A moment as ordinary as walking down a street, exchanging a smile with a stranger, or drinking a cup of tea is imbued with a new weight. The light reflecting off you, the air molecules displaced by your presence, the subtle vibrations you create. All of these are preserved in motion, travelling outward indefinitely. While imperceptible, these traces contribute to the ongoing evolution of the universe. This awareness transforms the mundane into the extraordinary. Each moment becomes a gesture not only within your immediate environment but across the vast, silent reaches of space, radiating influence you cannot observe but that persists regardless. Even more profoundly, this understanding challenges the way we define significance. Human societies measure importance through memory, reputation, or historical records. But if the universe itself preserves history in a physical form, significance transcends human perception. A gesture forgotten by those around you, a fleeting thought, a quiet act. These moments may continue to influence the universe in subtle ways. Significance becomes less about being remembered and more about participating in the ongoing motion of reality. Your existence contributes to the architecture of the cosmos simply by being, and your past continues outward, independent of notice or recognition. This perspective also deepens our sense of responsibility. Every choice, every movement, every interaction carries traces that persist. While the direct effects may be imperceptible, the principle remains. Nothing we do is ever entirely lost or without consequence. Your presence radiates outward, participating in a web of matter, energy, and motion that extends beyond immediate perception. Awareness of this traveling past encourages a mindful approach to life, where even small gestures are recognized as part of a far-reaching continuum of influence. The cosmos itself becomes a mirror of our actions, reflecting the reality that existence is never inconsequential. Our perception of time is also transformed. Typically, we see life as a series of fleeting moments, a linear succession of events moving inexorably forward. Yet the travelling past shows that time is far more intricate. Moments do not vanish. They continue in motion, interacting with matter, energy, and space-time. The past is not behind us, but ongoing, extending outward into the universe, where it becomes part of a multidimensional network of cause and effect. This perspective dissolves the sharp boundary between past and present, suggesting that life is an interconnected flow, with each moment simultaneously shaping what has already occurred and influencing what is yet to come. The concept of mortality also shifts under this lens. Human existence is inherently ephemeral, yet the traces of our presence endure. The photons we emit, the molecules we release, the gravitational perturbations we generate, all persist beyond our perception, beyond memory, and beyond life itself. Death does not erase our influence. It marks a transition in the mode of existence. Consciousness may end, but the physical imprints of your life continue outward, participating in the motion of the universe. In this sense, life is both transient and enduring, fleeting in experience but lasting in its contributions to cosmic motion. There is also a subtle but profound meditation on connection. If your past continues to travel outward, then every action connects you to the broader universe. The photons from your gestures may interact with dust or gas. The molecules from your breath may mingle with the atmosphere. Gravitational waves from your movement ripple outward across space-time. These interactions form an intricate network in which your existence participates, linking you to systems and structures far beyond the boundaries of your immediate awareness. The past is not isolated, it is relational, part of a continuous dialogue between you and the cosmos. Philosophically, this perspective challenges our understanding of identity. The self is often conceived as bounded by the body, by memory, or by conscious experience. Yet if your past is radiating outward indefinitely, encoded in photons, particles, and gravitational disturbances, then your identity is distributed across space. You exist not only where you are perceived, but wherever your past reaches, wherever your traces interact with the universe. In a sense, existence itself is expansive, unbounded by perception or time, a continuous motion in which the individual is simultaneously localized and diffused across the cosmos. This also has implications for how we experience impermanence. We often fear the passing of moments, the inevitability of forgetting, and the finality of death. Yet the universe preserves history in a different, far more enduring form. While human perception may fade, while memory may be imperfect, the physical traces of your past are ongoing. Your life, in its most fundamental form, persists. This realization is not merely comforting. It reorients our understanding of impermanence, showing that existence has a permanence far beyond human consciousness, encoded in the very structure of reality. We can even consider this in terms of aesthetic perception. Imagine observing a starry night sky, with the understanding that light from distant stars is carrying fragments of their own past across vast distances. Now layer onto that knowledge the idea that your own past is similarly travelling outward. Suddenly, the universe becomes a living tapestry of histories in motion. Every photon, every wave, every particle contributes to a silent, ongoing narrative in which your life is intertwined with the cosmos. Ordinary perception transforms into something richer, more intricate, more meaningful. a recognition that existence is not confined to the immediate, but radiates, interacts, and endures. Thought experiments further illuminate this. Imagine an advanced civilization capable of observing photons or gravitational waves in extreme detail. In theory, they could detect fragments of your past preserved in transit. While speculative, this highlights a profound principle. The universe retains history in physical form. Observation is secondary. The record exists independently, encoded in motion. Your life is preserved in ways beyond human memory, beyond narrative, beyond consciousness. The travelling past ensures that existence has a permanence rooted in physics, a continuity that extends into the vast reaches of space. The travelling past also invites a re-examination of causality and influence. Every moment generates effects, some immediate, others far-reaching. A photon bouncing off you today may interact with a particle far away, influencing systems in ways we cannot predict. Gravitational waves ripple outward, subtly shaping the motion of distant matter. In this view, causality is not strictly linear, but a dynamic, multidimensional network of interactions. Your past is both cause and effect, simultaneously influencing and being influenced, a participant in an intricate cosmic flow. As we gaze further into the cosmic journey of your past, one of the most striking realizations is its potential permanence. Every photon, particle, and gravitational ripple generated by your existence continues moving outward, largely unimpeded, carried along the flows of space and time. Some photons will travel for millions or billions of years, potentially reaching distant star systems or interstellar clouds. Gravitational waves, though faint, will ripple across the cosmos, encoding your past motions in the very geometry of space-time. Even molecules you released into the atmosphere or space may persist in different forms, interacting with other matter while carrying traces of your existence. In this sense, the past is not only moving, it is enduring, a subtle, ongoing monument to your presence. To imagine this on a cosmic scale, consider the light that left distant galaxies long before life on Earth existed. That light carries a record of history, arriving at our planet billions of years later. Similarly, the photons reflecting off your body yesterday begin their journey through space immediately. They will travel far beyond the solar system, potentially reaching interstellar space within decades or centuries, and perhaps even other star systems after millennia. Your past is embarking on a trajectory that, in principle, could extend across the galaxy, long after your presence is gone from immediate perception. Gravitational waves amplify this sense of endurance. Each motion you make subtly distorts space-time, sending ripples outward at the speed of light. While these effects are extremely faint, they propagate indefinitely, passing through stars, planets, and galaxies, carrying with them the signature of your existence. Over unimaginable spans of time, these waves may interact with massive objects, bending and stretching, but their information persists. In this sense, your past is embedded in the structure of the universe itself, a quiet record written into space-time. The long-term journey of your past also raises questions about interaction and transformation. Photons and particles are rarely isolated. They scatter, reflect, and recombine with other matter. Molecules released into the environment may become part of chemical reactions, ecosystems, or planetary processes. Gravitational waves may encounter massive objects that distort their paths. Each interaction subtly alters the trajectory or manifestation of your past without erasing its essence. The past is both resilient and dynamic, preserved in motion yet continuously interacting with the evolving universe. Entropy plays a central role in understanding this process. The second law of thermodynamics dictates that energy disperses over time, and matter tends toward disorder. Yet in this dispersal, traces of your past are carried outward, transformed but not destroyed. Molecules mix with the environment, photons scatter, and gravitational waves ripple across space-time. Even as the forms change, the information persists. Entropy does not obliterate history, it redistributes it, embedding your past into the ongoing flux of matter and energy. The universe never forgets, it merely transforms what it carries. This understanding also reshapes our perception of permanence. Humans often associate permanence with memory, physical monuments, or cultural artifacts. Yet the travelling past offers a far deeper form of permanence. Even after life ends, even after memory fades, the imprints of your existence continue moving, interacting, and influencing. The universe itself becomes the archive of your life, carrying your past in energy, matter, and space-time. This permanence is not symbolic. It is physical, measurable in principle, and ongoing across cosmic distances. The eventual fate of these traces depends on the nature of the universe itself. Some photons may continue indefinitely, travelling across expanding space, never absorbed or scattered. Others may encounter dust clouds, stars, or planets, contributing to new interactions and processes. Molecules may be incorporated into new forms of matter, joining cycles of chemical and biological activity. Gravitational waves continue to ripple, imperceptibly, across cosmic structures. In each case, your past persists, transformed yet enduring, a perpetual participant in the evolution of the universe. Consider, for instance, the journey of a single photon emitted from your skin. It begins moving outward, initially travelling through the Earth's atmosphere, then into interplanetary space, eventually crossing the vast expanse of the galaxy. Along the way, it may scatter off interstellar dust, slightly altering its path, but the photon itself, its energy and information, remains intact. Over millions or billions of years, it may reach a distant planet or star system, an unobserved fragment of your past preserved across space and time. The scale is almost unimaginable, yet the principle is simple. Existence leaves enduring traces. Molecules you exhale, carry heat, or release into the environment follow similarly complex journeys. A breath taken in this room disperses into the atmosphere, mingling with countless other particles, perhaps entering ecosystems or eventually escaping the planet entirely. Each particle retains a history, interacting with matter as it moves, subtly influencing the physical world. While imperceptible to everyday experience, these traces are real, persistent, and part of the ongoing narrative of existence. Gravitational waves offer an even subtler form of permanence. Each movement, vibration, or shift in mass generates ripples in space-time that travel outward without diminishing in principle. While weak and extremely difficult to detect, these waves encode the history of motion, carrying information about past events across vast distances. Even if no observer ever measures them, the information persists, traveling indefinitely through the cosmos. Your existence, in this sense, leaves an indelible mark on the universe itself. The philosophical implications are profound. If the past is moving, enduring, and interacting, then existence is not confined to immediate experience or memory. Life is part of a larger, ongoing flow, where every action radiates outward and contributes to the unfolding of the cosmos. The notion of finitude is challenged. While consciousness may end and perception may fade, the physical traces of your existence persist indefinitely. Permanence, therefore, is not measured by human recognition, but by participation in the ongoing motion of reality. This perspective also reshapes the human sense of connection. Your past interacts with matter, energy, and space-time in ways that extend far beyond your immediate surroundings. Photons scatter across galaxies, molecules mingle with environments, gravitational waves ripple through space. In each instance, your life is intertwined with the universe, forming connections invisible yet persistent. Existence becomes a network, not a linear sequence of events, and every moment is both unique and part of a greater cosmic tapestry. The travelling past also encourages reflection on meaning. Often we seek significance in recognition, memory, or legacy, yet physics reveals a deeper form of significance. The very act of existing leaves enduring traces in the universe. Every photon, molecule, or gravitational wave you generate is part of a continuous, ongoing record of reality. Significance, then, is intrinsic, embedded in the physical processes of existence, independent of observation or acknowledgement. The universe preserves your life in motion, a silent, eternal testament to your presence. As we arrive at the culmination of this exploration, it is worth pausing to reflect on the vastness, the continuity, and the quiet elegance of the journey your past undertakes. Every moment you have lived, every action, every thought, every movement is in transit. Your past is not trapped behind you, confined to memory or narrative. It is travelling outward, carried on photons, particles, and gravitational waves, moving through space, interacting with matter, and becoming part of the ongoing story of the universe. It is at once personal and universal, intimate and immense, a reflection of the unique patterns of your existence embedded in the cosmos. To contemplate this fully is to feel a profound shift in perspective. Life is often measured by immediacy, by what is visible or perceptible in the here and now. We cling to memory, we track achievements, we hope to leave a legacy that others might notice or remember. Yet the physical universe offers a far more enduring record. It preserves, not in subjective recollection, but in energy, matter, and motion, the traces of your existence. Every photon reflected off you, every particle you released, every gravitational ripple your movement created, continues outward, travelling through space and time, independent of human observation. In this way, the past is immortal, not as narrative, but as physical reality in motion. There is a meditative quality to this realization. Consider the photons leaving your body right now. They begin a journey that may last millennia, spanning distances beyond comprehension. Some may scatter along the way, interacting with cosmic dust or gas, subtly transferring information to distant matter. Others may continue indefinitely, reaching regions of space that will never encounter another observer. Gravitational ripples created by your presence stretch across the cosmos, their information encoded in the fabric of space-time itself. Your past is a silent traveller, a participant in the ongoing evolution of the universe. Even in death or forgetfulness, it continues, indifferent to observation, yet profound in its persistence. This perspective transforms the ordinary into something extraordinary. Each breath, each glance, each gesture becomes part of an ongoing journey that extends beyond perception and time. A smile shared with someone carries photons outward. A word spoken sends sound waves and molecules into the environment. A step taken shifts particles, alters air currents, and contributes to subtle gravitational effects. These traces may never be consciously perceived, yet they persist, interacting with matter, energy, and space in ways both tangible and immeasurable. The past is not static, it is dynamic, moving, transforming, and interacting in a silent, ongoing dance. We can also reflect on the concept of permanence. Humans often fear impermanence, seeing death, forgetting, and decay as erasure. Yet physics provides a different understanding. Your past is preserved, travelling through space, encoded in forms that are both resilient and enduring. Entropy transforms energy and matter, but does not obliterate the traces of existence. Molecules disperse, photons scatter, gravitational waves ripple, but the information continues, carried forward indefinitely. In this sense, permanence is physical rather than narrative. It is woven into the very fabric of reality, encoded in motion, energy, and matter. This also reframes the concept of identity. The self is commonly understood as bounded by body, consciousness, or memory. Yet the travelling past suggests a more expansive view. Every photon, every particle, every gravitational wave generated by your existence contributes to a distributed identity, one that stretches across space and time. You are not solely here, confined to the present or the mind. You are wherever your past reaches, wherever your traces interact with the cosmos. Existence becomes a network, not a point. You are simultaneously local and infinite, fleeting and enduring. Time, too, is transformed. Linear perception, a sequence of past, present, and future, is insufficient to capture the reality of a past that travels. Each moment radiates outward, interacting with matter and energy, contributing to effects that may unfold long after perception has ended. Past, present, and future are interwoven in a multidimensional tapestry of motion. The universe is a continuum in which your moments exist simultaneously as lived, as travelling, and as interacting. Time is less a line than a vast, flowing ocean, with currents carrying your existence onward, ever expanding, ever persisting. Philosophically, this perspective encourages humility and awe. Human life is brief, yet every action participates in something vast. The photons reflected from your body, the molecules you release, the gravitational ripples created by motion. These are part of an intricate, ongoing cosmic web. Your past continues its journey regardless of perception or recognition. Significance is inherent in existence itself, embedded in the fabric of the universe. To live is to contribute to this vast, silent network, to leave traces that will persist beyond memory, beyond time, and beyond personal awareness. There is also a profound sense of connection. Your past interacts with everything it encounters: dust, gas, planets, cosmic radiation, and gravitational structures. Each interaction subtly alters the universe, contributing to an ever-evolving pattern of motion and energy. You are connected to the cosmos in ways both tangible and imperceptible. Existence becomes a shared phenomenon, where every being, every action, every particle participates in the ongoing flow of reality. You are not alone. You are woven into the universe, and your past continues to reach outward, touching matter and energy across unimaginable distances. Consider, too, the poetic resonance of this idea. To know that your past is travelling, moving, interacting, and persisting invites a quiet reflection on the beauty of existence. Each gesture, no matter how small, contributes to an ongoing cosmic dance. Each moment is a ripple, a thread, a participant in the larger tapestry of reality. Life is not merely a sequence of fleeting events, but a continuous contribution to a dynamic universe. The extraordinary emerges in the ordinary, in the silent, travelling traces of your being. Thought experiments can further illuminate this. Imagine a distant observer, far beyond the reaches of our solar system, capable of detecting photons or gravitational waves in exquisite detail. In principle, fragments of your past could reach them, carrying information about the life you lived, preserved perfectly in transit. Observation is not required for this reality. The traces exist independently. The universe itself preserves history, encoding the details of existence in forms that endure far beyond perception. Your past is a silent traveller, a witness to your own life, moving through space, stretching across time. This awareness also reshapes our understanding of impermanence. Death does not erase existence. Forgetting does not annihilate significance. The past continues, travelling through the universe, interacting with matter, energy, and space-time. Every moment of life contributes to this ongoing flow. The cosmos carries forward the echoes of your presence, indifferent to recognition, yet profound in persistence. You are part of something eternal, even as consciousness is fleeting. Your life is woven into the ongoing motion of the universe, a continuous thread in a tapestry that stretches across time and space. Finally, this realization invites reflection on how to live. If the past continues outward indefinitely, then every action carries enduring weight. Ordinary gestures, quiet thoughts, subtle motions. These are preserved in motion, becoming part of a dynamic, evolving network. Life becomes an act of participation in the cosmos, a series of ripples that extend far beyond the moment. Awareness of this can inspire mindfulness, presence, and reverence for the seemingly ordinary moments of existence. Every breath, every gesture, every thought becomes meaningful, woven into the cosmic continuum. As we conclude, it is humbling to recognize the vastness of what has been set in motion. Your past is traveling, always moving, interacting, and persisting. It is part of the fabric of the universe, embedded in photons, particles, and gravitational waves, carried across distances far beyond comprehension. Life is both ephemeral and enduring, fleeting in perception yet persistent in reality. The past is a silent journey, a testament to existence, a reflection of the fact that to live is to leave traces that stretch outward into the cosmos, forever moving, forever becoming, forever part of the endless, intricate flow of the universe.